Japan, 1615. Osaka Castle burns against the night sky. The last heir of Toyotomi Hideyoshi, once the most powerful man in Japan, is about to take his own life, and watching from the shadows is the architect of this moment, Tokugawa Ieyasu. But why did Ieyasu feel he had to destroy the Toyotomi family? The truth is far more political and far more calculated than the legend. In this video, we'll uncover the real forces behind the fall of the Toyotomi clan. This wasn't about revenge, it wasn't about jealousy, it was a deliberate political operation, the final step in building the Tokugawa shogunate that would rule Japan for 265 years. To understand Ieyasu's decision, we must start with a single boy, Toyotomi Hideyori. Born in 1593 to Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Yodogimi, he was the last surviving heir of the Toyotomi regime, and this alone made him the most dangerous person in Japan, not because of anything he did, but because of what he represented. When Hideyoshi died in 1598, Japan had two incompatible futures, one led by a council of regents protecting young Hideyori, and the other led by the most powerful daimyo on that council, Tokugawa Ieyasu. Sekigahara decided the outcome. Ieyasu won the battlefield. But even after the victory, Toyotomi Hideyori remained the legal heir of a massive legacy. After Sekigahara, Ieyasu had power, but Hideyori had legitimacy. To many daimyo, the Toyotomi family still symbolized national authority. Their castle, Osaka Castle, was the strongest fortress in the country, and loyal warriors, ronin and ambitious lords still flocked to them. The country would never be stable as long as two centers of power existed. Around 1610, Osaka Castle began to transform into something Ieyasu feared, a political magnet for everyone who opposed the Tokugawa. Masterless samurai, former Toyotomi officers, monks, swordsmen, thousands of them gathered. Even if Hideyori himself was peaceful, the community around him was anything but. The spark that ignited war came from something small, a bronze bell. In 1614, Hideyori commissioned a great bell for the temple Hokoji. Its inscription included the phrase Koka Anko, meaning, "May the nation be peaceful." But Tokugawa advisors pointed out something unsettling. The characters for Ieyasu were split apart, symbolically separating or cursing his name. Was it intentional? Probably not. But for Ieyasu, this was the legal excuse he had been waiting for. Ieyasu mobilized a massive army, over 200,000 men, and surrounded Osaka Castle. This began the winter siege. Despite overwhelming numbers, Osaka Castle held strong. Its walls were too thick, its moats too deep, its defenders too motivated. The siege ended only after a negotiated peace, and even then, Ieyasu forced Osaka to fill in its outer moats, crippling its defenses. Peace did not last. The Toyotomi immediately rebuilt their defenses, even strengthening parts of the moat in secret. Ronin continued pouring in to Ieyasu. This was final proof. The Toyotomi had no intention of submitting. In the summer of 1615, Ieyasu returned with a massive army. The summer siege was brutal, chaotic, and devastating. Toyotomi forces fought desperately. Women and children fled into inner chambers. The castle burned as battles raged room to room. By June 4th, Osaka Castle fell. Hideyori and his mother, Yodogimi, retreated into a turret. Surrounded by flames, they chose death by their own hand rather than capture. With their deaths, the Toyotomi line ended. So why did Ieyasu do it? Not out of emotion, but necessity. Japan could not return to the chaos of the 1500s. Stability required a single ruler, and as long as the Toyotomi survived, thousands would rally behind them. To create a peaceful, unified Japan, Ieyasu believed he had to eliminate the final rival. After Osaka, the Tokugawa dynasty was secure. Ieyasu died a year later, but his grandson Iemitsu solidified the regime. For over 2.5 centuries, Japan remained unified, stable, and free from large-scale wars. The fall of Osaka Castle marked both an ending and a beginning. The destruction of the Toyotomi family wasn't a tragic accident of history. It was the final chapter of Japan's unification, a harsh decision made in pursuit of stability, legitimacy, and control. If you found this deep dive into Japanese history fascinating, like the video, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which forgotten story from Japanese history should we explore next.